We are about. We are live, and 1 minute late. That's not bad for us. Um, if you're watching live or you're watching recorded, thanks for joining us. Please share it with like-minded individuals. We are hosts for Ghosts, South Coast Ghosts. We also go with paranation.co.uk, and together we are Puppy, Para Unified Paranormal Investigators. And we are here all for one reason, Power Unity, share the power love, and join with more people around the globe, basically, especially in the UK, because that's where we're based. Here's Samantha. Evening, Samantha. She says hello. She's straight on.
Hi, Samantha. Welcome along.
Hi, Samantha.
Thanks for joining us again. Please share it. Please give us a like, thumbs up. If you've got any questions, put them in the box. Paul said, ask me. Oh, we go live tonight. Yeah, she's been onto StreamYard and clicked it.
Yeah, we can.
Otherwise, we can't see your comments because it won't let third parties on. Paul's dropping him out. He's back again. Yeah, he's back again. Yeah.
This internet we got is rubbish at the moment.
I actually set the stream up last week.
Right.
So people could see, we were actually going to go live. What I'll do is I'll set it up again a week in advance. So, because next week I'll be in Cornwall.
Hey.
Yeah. And my plan is, we're back to the same haven place we've been going to for 5, 6, 7 years now. And it's on the largest expanse of sand dunes in England. And they're huge. They're just, the whole site's on sand dunes, and you can walk forever. Then it goes to an MOD range and then Penrith Airport.
All right, yeah.
We found out a couple of years ago when we went there that it is also home to the oldest church in England. And It was only found by mistake because the sand dunes move, obviously. And it'd been buried. And all of a sudden, somebody was walking along, a dog walker, and went, "Oh, what's that there rock?" Dug down a little bit, and there's the church. So hopefully next week, if it's not too windy, I will set the stream up from St. Piran's in the middle of the sand dunes. If not, then I will probably be down Penrith having a beer.
Nice. Having a beer sounds good.
If I'm doing neither, it means I'm pissed off, sat indoors, and it's pissing down the rain.
No, you'll be fine, I'm sure.
Is your nose getting bigger there, Luke?
What's that?
Your nose getting bigger there?
No.
I know you were saving up to be Jewish, but have you had plastic surgery on it?
Just tell him it's better than having a boob job, eh?
Yeah, he had that last year. Samantha says she loves old churches. So and she thinks she knows it's funny, Luke. You knows it anyway. Sorry, that was that's funny, isn't it? Anyway,
well, we have a church at the top of our road here in Wallingham, and it's it was used. The Germans used to use the church steeple during the war to find their way up the Thames towards into Croydon and then into London, and they used to call this area Bombers Alley because the Germans didn't drop their bombs in during the London, because at night they used to come out and they could find the steeple, and they knew then if they turned left they would head up towards Croydon and then into London and do the bombing run. And they used to drop their bombs on the way out here when they hadn't dropped them over London, the ones that misfired or the ones that didn't come out or whatever, because obviously they couldn't really carry the weight of the aircraft back over to sea, so they would drop them off around this area. So it's a Commonwealth graveyard. So it's a really interesting graveyard.
The church. My old horse couldn't carry my weight. So that was a few years ago. So I sold it to Tesco's.
Where's this one going?
I don't remember the burgers at Tesco's.
Yes, yeah. Horseradish, isn't it? Horseradish burgers.
No, horse meat. Anyway, I'm not going to tell any more jokes because nobody gets them. So, and
Oh, I do. I just don't laugh.
that just didn't turn out funny at all, did it?
No. How funny.
Oh, I know. That's all right. Then I'll keep going. Yeah, I went in.
Well, we suggested about talking about haunted tunnels and things, didn't we, last week?
Yeah,
so hope you've done your homework, Luke. You got all day to do your homework, mate.
Yeah.
The first tunnel I think I ever found was in a village near us called Chiddingstone.
Yeah, you.
Hello.
Right. Okay.
So we were in the Chiddingstone, and it's got the oldest retail shop ever known from 1414. It opened as a shop, and it still goes. It's still going now as a retail shop. So it's got immense history. It's called a Chiddingstone. If you ever get a chance to look it up, but they do a lot of Chiddingstone. Yeah, they do a lot of filming there for a lot of films because all the houses are Tudor. So the whole village is in a Tudor era. So they shut the whole village and they do a lot of the filmings there. They did the Darling Buds of May and all that type of film in that area because it is literally. And I tried to talk to a guy in a pub there. There's a 500-year-old pub there, and we approached him about doing a paranormal night there because he says it's really haunted. So they weren't really interested, you know. They were no, it's okay. So we carried on, and just you walk through a gate into a massive garden. There's a castle, Chiddingstone Castle. So we had really.
Oh, Paul's frozen again by looking at it.
Is, yeah.
Either that or he's really good at being still.
Yeah.
He's probably talking away. And Jen will go, Paul, the internet's gone.
Yeah.
The internet's gone. And go, oh, where was I? And Paul brought up an interesting one. I think they've stopped doing paranormals now. He's back. He's back.
This internet, honestly, it's gone.
You need to get the mouse to unclicker the wheel.
Yeah, it's Sky Internet. What a load of rubbish. Anyway, so we were walking out, and sort of as you walk out through the gardens, we're going up a slight hill, and on the left is like a little bit of a lake. And I just happened to look down and thought, oh, there's a gate down there with the bars across it, down the bottom by the lake.
Yeah.
I thought, I know. And it's all fenced off. You can't get it. And I said, I'm just going to jump over and go down and have a look. So I jumped over, went down. I've got the video on my phone, I think, and it's a priest hole that they used. And I got about halfway down, and then I didn't have much light from my phone because I didn't have a torch because we weren't expected to run across something like that. But I got halfway down, and I reckon that it actually either goes to the church or it filters off to the pub, either side of the footpath. Really creepy, dark as dark. But it's the first priest hole or tunnel that I'd ever come across. But it had the gate even carved into the roots of the tree, so it was disguised. So I'd imagine they would run out of there, get into the boat on the lake, and then go if there was ever trouble. So that was really interesting. I'll have to post a video. Yeah, it is, Samantha. It is a beautiful village, isn't it, Chiddingstone? Beautiful. You know, if you've never been there and you're up this area, it's a place to go. You've got to see it to believe. But it's all Tudor type houses, and so they use it during the filming. They film a lot there. The church dates back to God knows when, and that was probably the first tunnel that I'd come across, like a priest hole. You know, because you don't see them. and it's actually carved in the roots of a tree with this metal gate across it. Really, really interesting.
So
Obviously,
you can get access to it still, can you?
yeah, you have to jump over a wooden fence. It says "Do not enter." You sort of just walk down a little bit of a bank, and it's there. You see the gate in the tree roots. And I said to Jen, "Oh, I've got to go and have a look." And obviously, Jen couldn't go over this, so I went down and had a look. Used my phone because I didn't have a torch or anything with me at that time. And I got about halfway down, and it sort of turns the corner, and then obviously it gets darker and darker. And without a torch, I didn't really want to take my chance. There was a hole in the floor, or you fall down a hole, or in a pit, or something's collapsed, and So I decided to stop there because your phone light is not very powerful, is it? It doesn't project it very well. It lights around you, but not in front of you, doesn't it?
It's only meant to make a flash and that.
Yeah. So
Talking on that subject, what really
Yeah.
makes me laugh, people at night time, they see a valley and they think, oh, I'll take a picture of that church or whatever a mile away, yeah?
Yeah.
They use their sodding flash, yeah? You see the flashes going, and it's like, I think, how powerful do they think that really is? You think it's like they're going to light up the whole valley, yeah? They get over the pictures black and they go, oh, what happened there? Bloody cat. Anyway, sorry, Paul.
No, but if you get a chance to look it up, or you're ever up this area, go to Chiddingstone.
Chiddingstone, yeah?
Yeah. Where is it? Is it Surrey or
Edenbridge, isn't it?
It's near Edenbridge, which is another famous village.
Oh, yeah, it's Edenbridge.
Yeah, it's just not far from there, Darren.
Yeah, have you been through Edenbridge lately?
When was the last time we went through Edenbridge?
Ages.
It's been ages since we've been through there.
Steph
You
went
still got the SO garage at Edenbridge?
Oh, I don't know, mate.
Just
Couldn't
down
tell
the
you.
road, you've got a Land Rover dealer, Chester's.
All right.
And
Coming from
sorry,
here, we could go
guys, but
different
I'm gonna have to
directions.
make some more jokes in a minute.
You all right tonight? And the other one, obviously, I know about Drakelow tunnels and things like that. The other one is
tunnels is an interesting one, Paul, because I was invited to do Drakelow tunnels. Oh my God, 7-8 years ago now, and everybody said, "Oh, it's really haunted and stuff like that." And the group was going and said, "Well, if you want to come up, you'll get in for free. So if you help us out." And I said, "Well, I've got one other wants to come with me." "Oh, all the better. They'll have to pay." And anyway, I think tickets were about 40 quid or something. And I'm happy to pay, and I didn't in the end, but beside the point. But we got there. It was, I suppose, around about July, August time, because it didn't get light till about 7 in the morning, something like that. Now, we had it all night from 8 till 8 in the morning. And I was really looking forward to it. Anyway, my mate drives up, because it's just outside Birmingham, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we parked at this car park, and then it's a lot of woodland around, but then you just see this huge gate in the side, double opening gate, yeah?
Right.
And there's a gate in the gate, and you open that and, oh, yeah, come in. And it was still daylight when we got there. So evening light. And we went in. Shut up, dog. And anyway, the first thing I noticed was all down either side of the main trouble as you enter, the toilets off to the right, is these little tea lights. You know the ones I mean? These little burners or whatever. And I'm like, they're on the floor. They're just on the floor, and you can't see anything from them. They went, yeah, just come around here and here, and the base room's here. Oh, great. Okay. Anywhere I can turn the light on so I can undo the kit? No, we haven't got electric. Well, there's no electric in the whole tunnel. No, it's all gone off. It's all cut off and everything. So yeah, you'll need your torch. I thought, thank God I bought plenty of batteries because this
Yeah.
torch, it's got a sinister feeling about it anyway.
Oh, really?
And I couldn't figure out what it was until the end of the night, and I did. Anyway, we've been shown around this place and whatever, and sort of toured, and it is extensive. I mean, there's miles and miles of tunnels. The history is basically it was used during the Second World War to make Spitfire engines.
That's right. Yeah.
Engines, and then Rover cars took it over. So it is real rubbish. And anyway,
Another joke.
sorry if you got Rover.
British Leyland.
Could be worse. Could be a larder. And anyway, I'm the next Jeremy Clarkson. Me, you know, I just don't care what I say, do I? I don't care. Anyway, yeah, we did the tour and whatever, and there's a few bits of polythene you've got to pull back, and it just felt horrible from the. I knew it was haunted, but it just didn't feel like somewhere you wanted to. I mean, a few of them said the same, but a few of them well enjoyed it. Anyway, we're doing the investigation. We saw a light bulb on the wall, which there's no electricity in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've seen blue, we've seen red, and we've seen orange and yellows and whites, and you know you can't debunk that. And then we saw shadows of people as we're shining the torch. We saw dark shadows of men standing there, like really dark matter. Yeah, you know the kind that sucks the light in. And
Yeah.
much chance of you getting a picture in there because it was so long and it was so dark. I mean, anyway, we found these tunnels. You climbed up. They tried to conceal it, but you climbed up and you went through a hatch and you found more tunnels. And there was about 4 of us. Like we got it. Wow. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
wow. And we've got down there, and we're down there, and what was it? Was it me or if we get lost down here, nobody knows we're down here, and we haven't got a map, we haven't got a plan or anything. Oh, we'll just keep going straight. We'll come back straight. Yeah. Well, the normal thing happens. We walk about 5 minutes straight. There's all these rooms off and tunnels and huge bits and all that they haven't told you about. Yeah, and it's off limits. Anyway, we've we've done the normal. We've turned left. We said we're going to keep straight. Then we've turned right. Then we turned left. By the time we've gone back, we can't remember. We've gone left and right, but the thing is, every tunnel looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
Every floor looks exactly the same. There isn't any difference in whatsoever. Just rusty old wrought iron and metal and stuff like that. And we were down there for an hour, and we could not find our way back. It was horrible, until one of the 4 turned around and went, hey, let's climb through here. We climbed through and discovered that it went through to the next tunnel, so it's another secret entrance. Yeah.
Bloody hell.
We made our way back to the base room, and of course it's still pitch black. We haven't seen any light apart from a torchlight. So when you turn the torchlight off, it is pure black.
Yeah.
And I think some went about 6, and I felt obliged to stay. And about 7:45 in the morning, they went, "Oh well, we might as well pack up and go." I went, "Yes, there is a God." And all I can remember is, that was it. We were in the base room, and one of the 4 of us turned up. "Oh, let's go back in. You know that bit's really good." I went, "No." You know, if we were lucky there, yeah.
Yeah.
If I had a mile-long piece of rope, yeah, maybe,
Yeah.
But we heard footsteps in there. We heard bangs. We heard everything. But when we got before we finished in the morning, I mean, your mind just loses all track of time. You know
Yeah.
what's saying, but there's no
Yeah.
light at all. There's no UV at all. Hey, Graham's on. Good one, Graham. Thanks for
Hi,
joining us.
Graham.
Hey,
Graham.
how can you forget it's
Welcome.
the day after Sunday and the day before Tuesday? It's the same.
Must be a Monday. Welcome, Graham.
Anyway, I'm not going to sing. No, I don't want to show everybody up. And the dog starts howling because she likes singing with me. So it's the name dog, and then they start banging. Anyway, yeah, and one of us started walking round and round in circles. No, it's that way. No, it's this way. And we've been around the kitchen area about. No, you're all right, Graham. I'll leave that to you, mate. And I started noting all these pentagrams and demonic symbols on the kitchen walls. People have been, and I suddenly realised that he was being sucked in.
Mommy.
And I had to drag him back to the base room. And somebody said it's about 7:45. I went, oh, let's pack up then. I went, yeah, there is a God. And all I can remember is walking out of there. The light was the sun was just about to come up, and it was still that twilight. Yeah, I mean, the main light was moonlight. That's what I think it must have been about August, September, something like that. And the light was just beautiful. Yeah, to see the moonlight was just like wow, and that stunning. So I was invited back quite a few times, and every time I declined because I just didn't like it. I mean,
Yeah.
each their own. And people still. I mean, Joe said to me, "Oh, Dazzler, shall I book us straight close tunnels?" And I went, "Joe, if you do, I won't be coming." "Oh, why not? It's a brilliant location. Have you been?" "Yep, that's why I won't be coming because the most depressing place I've ever investigated in my life." I said,
Imagine working there, though. Imagine working there all the time. Imagine working there all the time.
Well, they had electricity then.
Yeah, but it still would have been dark surroundings, wouldn't it?
But it would have been terrible. I mean, it's like a coal mine. It's like working down the pit. But I mean, probably even worse than the pit. Do you know what I mean? Because
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
But the reason the electricity was cut off apparently is because it was only recent that they found in these secret parts it was a huge cannabis grow farm. Huge.
Yeah.
And it was only for the fact that, I mean, people doing a tour through the tunnels, they smelt marijuana and they investigated and they found thousands of plants. There was 3 blokes apparently that got caught for it. And they said, well, we're just going to cut the electricity supply off because then it's not a these blokes weren't anything to do with the owners of the tunnels. They'd just gone, hey, what a fantastic place to have a grow house. Yeah. We can sneak in there during the day. Nobody's going to ever see us. And we're just like, and they've done it for years. They got away with it for years.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. So this is an interesting one. Well, that's posh, that. Buckinghamshire. Yeah. The churchyards. Here's a better one.
Most of the churches in them days would have had an escape route anyway.
Yeah.
So they would have had a tunnel in the crypt, from the crypt outwards. They always needed a way out when Cromwell was on his campaign of ridding all the churches, and most churches would have had a priest hole, tunnels for them to escape. It was quite brutal with the church, wasn't he? Really.
Well, I mean, all of a sudden they just decided to no, unless you believe in this, yeah. It's like the dog. Um, yeah, it does. You know, all of a sudden, if you was a priest, you became enemy number one, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you were effectively kicked out. Yeah. Um, so can you imagine? You know, you're a well-known priest, yeah, and all of a sudden Cromwell decides, boom, bye. And
Yeah.
you know, your friends are a priest, and you've got to stash him under your floorboards while the soldiers come in and look for him.
Yeah. That's the thing at Waverley, isn't it? It makes you wonder if there is something like that at Waverley.
There's definitely stuff under the floor.
Yeah,
Yeah, without a doubt. I personally think, like we were saying, that there's different levels there, and I think there's an underground part of that ruins.
Yeah, it could be.
Definitely, mate, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, the ground around it has been built up over the centuries. You know, there's
Yeah.
you look at any of these old. I mean, if you go through like Winchester, yeah, or Droxford or places like that, you'll see that you step down to the path to the houses.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't built like that. It's just it's been built up and built up and built up and built up.
That's it. The levels come up, isn't it?
Yeah. And yeah, so I would say without a shadow of a doubt, you know.
Yeah, I think if you sort of looked, or I don't know, it'll be there somewhere. I'm sure of it. There'll be some way to go under that.
Yeah.
What you see on the top is not what's underneath.
No.
I mean,
the tunnel gives you a clue, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because you've got the upper level, and then you walk down under the tunnel.
Yeah.
You know, we've all said, haven't we? Why would you have a tunnel here?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It doesn't go anywhere, or does it?
I think that would. Well, yeah, there's just something under that tunnel, because we always get a load of activity in that tunnel.
Yes, and it's different people as well. It's not always the same ones, is it?
No.
And even if you think about doing table tipping in the middle of the grass area, you know how much contact that table had.
Yeah.
You know, what was the table touching? It was on the ground, wasn't it? So what's actually under the ground that we managed to get contact with?
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. I mean that. Stop it now. No. Dog here. Molly. Wait.
I won't stop it.
Yeah.
My name's not Molly, it's Jenny.
I have the same trouble with Jen, mate. It's always trying to climb on my lap.
Idiot. You can smell chicken that they're eating out there, you see.
Chicken! Chicken! Don't say it too loud. Our dog likes chicken.
Yeah, who's that?
But I think that's why we pick up a lot of different stuff at Waverley, because of, you know, the different levels that are there. You know, the other place we found a tunnel was near here. There's what's it called, the White Lion?
Yeah.
There's a pub called the White Lion, and during COVID, obviously it closed down, and he asked us to go and have a look because we were trying to prep him up for a paranormal night, because it's one of the oldest pubs in the area, and it's quite well known, this pub. So me and Jen went. He said, "Come along." When lockdown was over, we went along because they were just renovating it. And he said, "Tell us what you think about it." So we walked around. We got a few bits of it, not knowing the history of it. And we stood by the fire, like an open fire. We're standing there, Jen saying, "Why am I swaying?" And she was like, swaying. We started to sway, you know, that like you're in midair. Yeah. And then we suddenly realised what was under the flagstone by the fire was an escape tunnel that the smugglers used to use, and the highwaymen, when the police were about, they would move the flagstone and disappear down the stairs underneath the pub, and then what would have been a field, sort of next to the pub, and make their getaway. And when we said this to the landlord, he said, "Well, I don't know of a tunnel there or not." And he looked it up and he came back. He said, "Yeah, it was right by the fire, exactly where you both felt in midair. There's a tunnel underneath the pub, and there's an escape route for them because that's quite known for smugglers and that there." Pardon?
How amazing we pick these things up.
So clever, isn't it? You know, Spirit's so clever. When they want you to know something, they'll do it. And we both felt like we was in midair. You know that light feeling? I'm saying, Jen, do you feel that? Do you feel that? And Jen's going, yeah. And it's like you were in midair, like we were standing on a void, basically. And then, because
Paul's frozen again.
Gone again.
He's frozen again. He'll be back in a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's amazing how we pick up on these things where it's impossible for us to know. I did a pub in Gloucester many years back, and the New Inn in Gloucester, and I picked up on children that had I picked up on the regular that was really peed off with the landlord of the present because he covered up his drawing with his name on it above the bar. And I picked up where it was, and the landlord went, "I don't believe this," and he took me through and showed me he'd covered it up. Previous, there was a woman in a room up the top that she slit her wrist and picked up on that. That was only a previous couple of weeks ago, and it hadn't published anywhere because the family. I mean, that's all you can really say about it, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, it's very fascinating.
You know? Yeah, and I think that's why we continue doing this.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you on D-Day tunnels, Paul?
No.
That's
I'll be there.
Yeah, you're there, Luke. Yeah. D-Day 22nd of July, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic location, mate. I've been down in Portsmouth since 2021. I moved down from Durham. I was there 6 months. Previous to that, I was Essex, where I come from. Previous to that, I was Glasgow. Previous to that, I was Ireland. Previous to that, I was Spain. Previous to that, I was Aberdeen. Previous to that, I was Ireland. So yeah, I've been down here since 2021. And I mean, I've been doing this, as you know, for quite a long time. And anywhere that's any tunnel. Well, the first tunnel or cave I found down here was a man-made cave, which was dug by the Polish. Most of it's filled in now. As a shelter years ago. And then I discovered, the D-Day tunnels got discovered by accident, the same as I discovered caves by accident.
Yeah.
Because I when I first moved down here, before I did my back in and whatever, I was very active. And my then partner, she was into it a bit, but she believed in aliens and reptilians or whatever. But you know, as going out and spending an afternoon on a paranormal investigation to her would have been like, well, they only come out at night. So I found these bloody tunnels, or heard of these tunnels, and I just drove up there. And I had a Jag at the time, and the area where it is, they're all sort of like looking at me, going through what's he after and whatever. And I suppose I'm decent clothes at the time as well. And I parked it up, and they're like, "Oh, are you here for something?" No, mate. I'm trying to find a way into the tunnels if they're here. Oh, right. He says, "Yes. Walk across there." He says, "Walk up a little bit." He says, "And there's a hole." He says, "You'll have to crawl through it." He says, "But crawl through it." I said, "How far do you have to crawl? Because I'm claustrophobic."
Yeah.
He says, "Oh, about 20 foot." I'm like, fucking hell. Anyway, I've gone up there. I suppose it's fucking like that, yeah? You know, it's not huge, yeah.
Yeah.
And the grass is all grown over, so I couldn't see it at first. And then I went, tunnel. And I've looked inside, and I thought, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. Yeah. No, I can't. and
Yeah.
Anyway, I've crawled through it. I'm on my own. I've got so far down, I can't turn around. It's impossible to turn around. And I thought, perhaps I should go back. Well, I couldn't go back. I don't know if you've ever tried to go back when you're flat on your floor like that, and you're like, it's not easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anyway, eventually I got through, and the doors still hung open. There were switches on the wall for the lights, and I pressed one, and it turned the lights on.
Oh dear.
Wow! And there's all these telephones in there. Communication equipment and communication boards. All right, this is just like really mental, yeah. And I walked through a little bit further, and I'm on my own, you know. And I'm like, well, if the electricity's on, perhaps it's still used. It's like,
Yeah.
and I was obviously a lot more anxious then than I am now. So I'm thinking, well, now I know trespassing is civil, and as long as you're not doing any damage, you're not doing any harm.
No.
And anyway, then I thought, oh my God, they're going to get arrested if I get caught. And sort of tiptoeing around, and another light switch, and the lights all down this tunnel just switched on. Boom, 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 boom. It's amazing. This is huge. And I heard some noises, and I thought, And then I thought, if I get chased or there is a demonic presence in here or whatever, how long is it going to take me to crawl through that tunnel that I really don't want to crawl through?
Yeah.
I sort of headed back, and I crawled back through the tunnel and came out the other end. I actually left the lights on. And I've often thought of going back because I know where the entrance is. I found another couple since as well. But Graham, D-Day tunnels, the D-Day tunnels were
interesting.
Yeah, were found by a man. He found an entrance, and he looked in, and he moved a bit of earth, and basically opened it all up, and it was a trust and so forth. And they found the lost tunnels of the D-Day tunnels. It is supposedly true. I mean, we'll never know 100% that Churchill led World War II under Portsdown Hill, where the D-Day tunnels are.
Right.
And you do get a cigar smell in there sometimes.
All right.
So it's a good location. I mean, it's hard to find. It really is hard to find. But I would also like to do this.
I would. London Underground.
Yes,
Definitely.
be a good one.
Because you think during the war, a lot of the undergrounds were used as bomb shelters, weren't they?
Yeah,
know, I can't remember which station it was where a bomb actually bounced down the road and went straight down the tunnel, didn't it? And exploded in the underground. I can't remember what station that was. But it obviously killed it. Went straight down the hole, didn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Honestly can't remember which station it was. But you can imagine the atmosphere in there, can't you?
Yeah.
With all that bombing and all this people, people scared, aren't they? And if it took a direct hit, it would just pull the whole lot down on them anyway, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, and Dad used to take me up to London for the day and things like that, and we used to go on the undergrounds. I remember standing on the platform, and you knew when the train was coming because the wind.
Yeah.
And I go, I don't like this, Dad. And he's like, oh, it's only a train coming. but I always knew that it was something else. Yeah, it wasn't just the wind of the train coming down a tunnel.
Yeah.
And now I think it was the energy of something coming down the tunnel with the train. Yeah,
Yeah.
something down there. Because when you think again, if you got power cut down the tunnels, bloody hell. Yeah.
Cool.
I
Yeah.
mean, that
Imagine how
was-
dark that is.
yeah. But I mean, they lived down there for weeks during
Yeah,
the blitz.
yeah. There is a
Uh,
program on the TV called The Secrets of the London Underground.
Yeah.
If you watch that, it's a series on TV, and it's where they go to different stations. And I think it was the Aldwych where he went,
Aldwych
and they
Station. Yeah.
and they found another station beyond the boarding because they thought it stopped there. So when he went round the other side, and it was another station, but they just didn't use it. But
Yeah.
I'd do the underground, the tour around the underground. So I imagine that could be quite creepy down there.
Very good.
But it's very interesting. It's called The Secrets of the London Underground.
On yesterday.
There's
It's on
more
yesterday or
tunnels
something.
They don't use.
And they got this massive museum underground with the trains and all the paintings and all the different tiles, but it's underground. It's an underground museum.
Yeah.
Pardon?
There's also a train station, an underground station, where they won't go into it because it is so haunted. They've blocked it off, and they don't even tell you it exists. You know that?
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't surprise me.
On the east end. It's not far from sort of Blind Beggar area. Yeah.
All right, yeah.
I reckon that's where all the energy circulates.
Uh,
I'm up for going one day.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. What you all doing tomorrow?
Got to earn a living tomorrow, mate.
Well, Luke's in bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've got a funeral.
Hey?
Got what?
Got a funeral.
Oh,
Tomorrow.
no, how inconvenient.
Yeah.
Hey, can't they do it at night for you?
No, I know, in the afternoon.
In the afternoon?
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Well, hopefully you stay awake, Luke. Otherwise, it might be you going down the old mate because I think
I
you're
know,
Anyway.
Make sure you get up in time.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So that would definitely be interesting in London, because that's like
Hope it all goes well.
the graveyard in Woking, isn't it? I forgot the name now. I've forgotten it. What's the name of that graveyard in Woking, Luke? Famous one.
Oh,
No, not Highgate. In Woking.
No, not Brookwood.
Brookwood, that's it. Sorry,
Brookwood.
yeah.
That's the one, yeah.
That's old age getting to me, see.
Yeah.
But Brookwood has a hidden train station in there. You know that?
I went to the Bracknell train station.
Yeah.
When you walk through the tunnel of that, it feels very eerie. You can feel the energy
Yeah.
in the tunnel.
The Brookwood Cemetery has a tunnel, has a train line that goes to it. Obviously, it's disused now. It's where they would bring out the bodies from London during the plague, because they'd run out of room in London to bury the dead. They'd throw them on there, and people thought they would be coming out to the Surrey area or wherever to be buried, but they weren't, because it was one of the first crematoriums made, was at Brookwood. Or Woking Crematorium was one of the first ever working crematoriums, and that's where they used to take them. And yet people thought they were going to be buried,
Yeah.
and they thought because of the plague they needed to destroy the bodies to stop the disease spreading. So Woking was, if you look up Woking Crematorium, it's one of the oldest known crematoriums in history.
Yeah.
But Brookwood has got its own train station right at the very end, although you can't get near it, but it's there.
Yeah, the new one's quite eerie as well.
Yeah.
I think it's part of the old one, I think, actually. It might
It's
be.
what, mate? It's what?
It might be part of the old one a little bit, I think. It's like
Quite
a tunnel.
possibly.
Yeah.
When you actually look around the UK at tunnels, the south coast is actually quite heavily fused with the tunnel network. When I first got with Angela, we lived in a place called Stamshaw, and over the road was a family, and the dad was in his 70s then, and he become aware that I did paranormal investigations and their teams or whatever. So he started talking to me because he'd spoken to his family and they just thought he was a bit of a nutter. They didn't believe him. And he used to be a security guard and he had to sign a secrecy act for one of the forts out in Gosport and out in the Solent. And one of his duties was apparently there's this tunnels that go all the way from the hill down into Gosport out into the Solent. I mean, it's a good few miles. Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously there's side. I mean, you get to Gosport and it goes into a fort, and then it goes on.
Yeah.
But he says it's only just wide enough, really, for a man. It's just like about 6'4" or something. So he was a tall bloke. He said, parts, you could feel your head. So it's very claustrophobic. I said, well, I would never be able to do it. He said, well, I'll try hard. But he said, part of my duties were every night at 6 o'clock, he had to walk down these tunnels. And he had to walk the full expanse, and then he had to get back and he had to log it. And then again at midnight, he had to do exactly the same. Anyway, 12-hour shifts, security guard, like, So he got on, 12 o'clock mid through, and then 6 o'clock in the morning, the other one would do it. But he said he could never ever figure out why you had to walk down these boxy tunnels. His words to me, he said, they were disused. They weren't, you couldn't carry any arms through them because of tuna. He says that's why they weren't used. Anyway, he says one night he said he fell asleep, and they said to him, it must be done at these times. Don't do it any other time. Just do it these times. Yeah, and he'd been there for years. He said he fell asleep, so he missed it. Wrote it down in the book. He got back. Anyway, a few weeks later, he says he fell asleep again, and he woke up about 1:20 in the morning. He went, could do with a walk anyway. Yeah, I better go and do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, he said it took you over an hour to sort of walk through and close the gates and lock it and unlock it and whatever. He says, so normally he'd be coming back. He'd get back about 2:30 or something. Leave at 12, get back about 2:30. He said, but because it was like 1:20, he says he was walking back through the tunnels at 3 o'clock in the morning. And he's on his way back. He's done a brisk walk down. He's on his way back. Yeah. He says, all of a sudden, he sees this figure up ahead. Probably like a third of a mile away. He says, just dead straight tunnel. Yeah. And he says, I'm walking up, and he's like, I'm now sort of getting a bit worried because I've locked the gate that in before I walked down just over sort of like 2 hours ago. Yeah. So I'm the only one up there. Who is it? Anyway, he says, he gets a bit closer, he can hear footsteps of the man walking towards him. He says, then he gets a bit closer. He says, the man's like just staring at him now. Yeah? Walking towards him, staring. He says, and he stopped. This man didn't. He just kept walking until he got about 6 foot away from him. And he stood there and looked at him, and then just went woof straight through him. And he turned round, and there's nothing there. Nothing. He said he went chilled. He got frightened for no reason. He says he ran all the way to the top, probably another half a mile, 3/4. Yeah. To the locked gate. Yeah. With his keys in his hand, bashing. He said he ripped all his uniform. He ripped all his uniform. He was bleeding because he banged on off the side.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was in his 60s then. Yeah, he said, I weren't the fittest then, but he says, I ran. And he says, I opened the lock and I got in and I looked at my watch and it was around about 3:20 in the morning. He said, I locked the gate. He says, I looked down the tunnel. He says, and you could see somebody was standing there. He said, anyway, changeover. Obviously, they do the book and whatever. So the guard comes in about 5:45 and what happened to you? He says, you wouldn't believe it. He says, well, did you get a break in or what? Your uniform's all ripped and your fists are cut and your hands are cut. He says, no, he says, nothing like that. He says, nothing to report. He said, well, how did you get in that state? He said, it happened down the tunnels. And he said, he just looked at him. He says, what do you mean it happened down the tunnels? He said, well, I overslept. He went, hang about. What time did you go down there? He says, well, I didn't leave that. He said, don't rattle me. He said, no. He said, I'm not going to rattle you. He says, what time did you leave? He says, about 1:20. I headed down these tunnels. He says, so you were coming back about 3 in the morning? He says, yeah. He says, you have to be out of there by 2:30. He says, otherwise you'll get it. He says, get what? He says, don't know. He says, but there's a figure of a man and he's not scared. He just walks straight up to you. Yeah? And he says, I've had it happen to me. He said, it's not very nice when he goes through you. And he went, what? He went, why did you never tell me that? He says, well, you were told to get out of the tunnels by 2:30, so you would have never known it was there. He said, see it. And they, he said, it's 3:00 in the morning, he appears, yeah? And that's his domain then, yeah? You don't go down. He says, there's other security guards that haven't got off so lightly. He says, we've come in the morning, they're not here, so we've had to go and carry them out of the tunnels. Yeah? They've been unconscious, and they can't remember whether it was a fear or what. All they can remember is walking down the tunnels and seeing the figure of a man, and the next thing we're there. And he says they've had nervous issues. He says, so you've come off lightly, yeah?
So they don't know who he was then, this man.
No idea who this man is. But he said he changed over shortly after that to the day shifts. And nothing ever happened in the day. He says he overslept in the daytime. He said he walked down there at 3 in the afternoon and nothing ever happened. Yeah. But he wasn't allowed to tell the people that worked in the forts what he was doing, what was behind the door. It was always locked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's that tunnel go? And he'd go, it's just to a cupboard or something. Yeah. Back in a bit, of course, you're walking 3 miles that way. And
they don't know what the tunnels were for then. They just come to a dead end, or they don't go anywhere, or
they connect the forts. They connect.
Right.
They're under the sea.
Because
the Solent, believe it or not, is actually really shallow.
Right.
I suppose average you're looking 20 foot, 15 foot. It's really shallow. Yeah.
So do you think they would have used the tunnels if the ships had got in from Germany and blown the tunnels? That would have just dropped the Solent into the tunnels.
Could have been, I suppose. Yeah.
Put mines underneath the tunnels. So if anything went wrong, they could always breach it. Like you say, if it's only shallow, they could actually breach it.
I think more likely, it would be more likely. I mean, when the forts were built on like Widley and Purbrook and Nelson, I think it's more likely that the forts like Spitbank Fort and whatever out in the Solent now. If ships had come in, obviously they'd have come under attack from those forts.
Yeah.
And so therefore the first thing that them ships would have had to take out is every gunner on them forts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise they're going to have cannons at them and God knows what. Well, it would have kept a supply of troops going to these forts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as they knocked off the first gunners, all of a sudden there was more gunners, and like, well, this isn't really working that well, is it?
Yeah.
So I think that's more likely what they were there for, troop passages. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have thought of this, and but nobody knows who this dark man is. But
Weird, isn't it? Who he was.
well, he said there was a new guard took over in the evening shift and whatever. So he was then coming in at 5:45 in the morning for handover. And he says he'd been there about 3-4 months. He says, and he come in and all his uniforms ripped, yeah, whatever. And he says, I asked him, he says, what happened to you? And he went, nothing. He said, well, was it a break-in or was it, yeah, what it's been said to him? He says, no, nothing to report. He says, what happened? He says, don't rattle me. He said, I won't, don't worry. He says, well, he says, I overslept. He says, yeah, and you went down the tunnels for your walk. He went, yeah, for your patrol. He says, you saw a black man, a black figure, about a third of a mile up ahead. He went, yeah, third to half a mile up ahead these tunnels. He says, I saw this man coming towards me. He says, I heard his shoes, and then he stopped. And then all of a sudden, he went right through you. He went, yeah. He said, and I passed out. He said, and when I woke up, he said, I don't know what time it was. He said, I just legged it. He said, I didn't know what way I was going or whatever. He says, but I got to the lock gate. He said, I realised I dropped the keys down the tunnel. So he'd only just got back, this poor sod.
Imagine having it.
He said, oh, well, he says, you better go home and get yourself cleaned up and a bit of rest, he says. Now, he said, I won't be coming back tonight. He says, and he said they'd lost so many security guards because of this one black figure.
Mad with that.
Now, another thing, tunnels. My ex, her granddad used to work on the roads, potholes and excavation works or whatever, and they were given a job to do down Commercial Road, which is the high street of Portsmouth. Anyway, I can find out. I forget the actual area that they found it. But he said they would have the old drill out and everything. It was, and he said it just dropped. Anyway, they pulled a few bricks back and they found steps going down. So they're like, wow. Anyway, they've walked down these bloody steps. They've just been concreted over. So they've walked down these steps and there's passageways going off underneath all the properties. And it wasn't that dirty or anything. I mean, it hadn't been used. I mean, it was, as you can imagine. But he said it didn't smell or anything like that. No. That's what's worse, kids or dogs. I'll tell you what. I like that, Graham. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't think at 3 o'clock there is any issues because everybody's too scared to knows to go down there that time.
Yeah, you can imagine, can't you?
But anyway, they went back to the truck and rang the council. And the council went, oh, well, just stand by, for further instructions. So he said they waited there an hour and a half. And the head of planning rang back. And he went, oh, all right. He says, okay, so you found some sort of a tunnel. He says, yeah. He says, we've been down there so far. He says, it's amazing. He says, no, he says, you haven't seen anything. He says, backfill it. He says, and that's it. He says, as soon as you finish your job, come straight back to the office. So, thanks, Samantha. Thank you. Anyway, and Luke didn't say a word. And it,
Did a few things.
Luke loves Molly, don't you, Luke?
Yeah, she's a nice dog. Yeah.
She's got a bigger nose than he has. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry, Luke. I had
That's
to do it, mate. I've been waiting for that opportunity. Sorry, mate. But it is true. Anyway, they filled it in and within a couple of hours, closed it over, went back to the office, got called into the room, 3 of them. Said, right, you're signing this bit of paper. What? Well, you didn't see anything. You never found it. You blah blah blah. No, I ain't signing that. He said, I did. He says, no. He says, your job's on the line here. He says, you know, you will sign this bit of paper. They had to sign a Secrets Act that they would never speak to anybody about it. So nobody knows that exists, you know.
Yeah.
There's nobody out there that knows that's there, but it's true. It is there. There is tunnels underneath Commercial Road in Portsmouth. Now, the really interesting thing about Portsmouth is, if you go back to the 1800s, it was dotted. Oh, hi Heidi. Good you joined us. It will be recorded. Please feel free.
Hi Heidi. Good evening.
But even if you join us for 5 minutes, it's a great pleasure to have you. Thanks so much for joining us. It gives us a crack, you know, and it gives us a buzz. People watching us, so thank you so much. But Portsmouth, no, it's such a low city, yeah. If you go back to the 1800s, there was a couple of farms, and it was marshland. And if I go in my back garden now and I dig down 1.5 foot, I hit clay. Don't even go that far. 1/2 foot, some places it's clay.
Yeah.
So I'm like that. I mean, clay only forms on the riverbed, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So it was the Dutch techniques that shown us how to reclaim the land, and that is what Portsmouth really is.
Right.
And it was all marshland, and that is why we have to build sea defences around it. I'm really sorry, but I mean, if you go into how did I know Graham would come up with that?
Here we go, Graham.
How did I know? Yeah, how did I know that?
There's always one in there. There's always one.
There's a joke for you. There you are. I'm being outdone here. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, but his jokes are funny. Oh dear. How funny.
The cogs turning. Graham's going to get a comeback here somewhere.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's going to turn, isn't it?
At the minute, they're putting so many sea defences up here. It's unbelievable. But
yeah.
Have you heard of the Plymouth Stone?
Plymouth Stone? Oh.
Plymouth Stone.
Yeah.
In America?
Is it in America? I thought it was, what am I thinking? Plymouth Hoe?
Yeah.
Plymouth Hoe? I don't know. It might not be. I'm thinking Plymouth Hoe.
Plymouth Stone, yeah?
Right.
Look it up. And this is a paranormal show, yeah, where we don't tell jokes, and we so sorry, no more jokes. This stone was laid there, I forget how many years ago, but it was laid at the high tide level, water level, yeah. And the stone's still there. It's a big. Anyway, have a look at it. The Plymouth Stone. It's really interesting.
That's also like, you know, that village I was telling you about earlier, Chiddingstone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
That's got a big stone laid one on top of the other. They reckon it was used for. What do they reckon it was for?
Rituals
and all sorts of stoning and people and execution. but it's one massive stone on top of another, and it's in the same village as that Chidding Stone. That's why it's called the Chidding Stone. Really, if you ever
It must be some sort of stone, Chidding Stone.
yeah, yeah. But if you ever come up this way, we'll take you there.
Yeah,
Such
all
an
right, yes.
such an interesting place to go to. You'd love it. The church and the village and the castle and the grounds, and
I've got a tea room there.
this tea room and then this 500-year-old pub. They say it's got the oldest retail shop ever known. Opened in 1414 and it's still a retail shop now. All them years. It's never changed.
Hang on, let's have a quick look, see how far away it is.
Their scones are still 14, whatever.
Yeah, they're a bit older scones, but they're all right.
No.
Take a lot of chewing.
Oh, it's not far from Hever.
Hever, that's right. Yeah, not far from Hever Castle.
Oh, right, okay.
That's the other place, because that's the home of Anne Boleyn, isn't it?
Well,
supposedly
yeah,
where she grew up, wasn't it? Hever Castle.
Yeah. I mean, she came from Essex, didn't she?
Yeah, but she grew up at Hever Castle, didn't she?
Yeah. Oh, I know where. I mean, I know Hever Castle.
Yeah. But what an interesting, if you look at that area where it is, Edenbridge, Chiddingstone and all of that area, it's quite a famous area, Hever, and all of that. Because the other tunnels I went down was at the Royal Holloway College in Egham.
Right.
I went down there with the Ghost Club of Britain, because they're the only ones that allowed entry into that college. And these tunnels went, I think it's 1.5 miles, but it's so strange because they have two tunnels identical to each other. Okay. And when you're actually walking down them, you don't realise you're actually going down Egham Hill. So you're actually going down a hill, because at the bottom of the tunnels would have been Holloway Sanatorium, because George Holloway built the sanatorium for his wife when she lost the plot, and save everybody seeing her outside. He built the tunnels, so all the people from London were brought out and taken down the tunnels, so nobody would actually see them. And he built this Royal Holloway Sanatorium. Friend of mine's a maintenance man there, and they've just now discovered a swimming pool that this George Holloway built for his wife down by the sanatorium. Nobody ever knew the swimming pool was there, and they were doing a lot of the gardening and pruning the trees, and they come across the swimming pool in the middle of nowhere in the forest. So when you go down the tunnels, and it's quite a scary tunnel, because, like you say, Darren, it's dark as dark, and they have a lot of their data cables running through there, down up the college and all of that through the tunnel.
Mate. I know what you're saying.
I know that was the one I was telling you, where they hid the paintings down one of the tunnels, and nobody knows where these paintings are. But we were down there for about a good hour, and then you don't realise you're actually walking downhill, because it's so dark, it just looks like it's straight. And we were turning round and coming back, and she said, right, all stay together, because it's so easy. If you spun round 2 or 3 times, you wouldn't know which way was out. Like you were saying, Darren, in that dark tunnel, if you was to spin round, you wouldn't know which way you come, would you?
No, you wouldn't.
Because it's so dark. So she said, what you do is stay together. And we was walking back, and she said to me, if you go on the last of the line, there was about 7 or 8 of us, I suppose. Should I head it up, because I know which way? Because as you walk up, the tunnel's split, and you need to go to one tunnel, not the other. And I was sort of not lagging behind, but a little bit behind. I could see him in front of me, and I could hear what sounded like footsteps running. And I thought, well, I know there's nobody behind me, because I'm the last one there. And I turned around and looked, and obviously they kept walking. I'm thinking, what on earth am I? And it literally was like someone running up and skidding in the dirt. So, like that sort of thing. And I'm thinking, what?
Like the in-betweeners.
Like what? Sorry, I missed that.
The in-betweeners where they went to the campsite.
Yeah, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So I thought, cool, this is a bit creepy. So I'm walking out, and then I felt something tug on my shirt, and I thought, what on earth is this? I thought, I thought I caught my shirt on something, a cable or a tie wrap or something down there. I turned around, couldn't see anything. A little way longer, I felt it again, like something tugging at my shirt tail, and I'm thinking, what? So I kept walking rather quickly, and ended up getting out, obviously at the end. And the woman said to me, "What are you looking down the tunnel for?" I said, "Well, this is going to sound completely mad, but I felt something was holding my shirt tail." And she just laughed. She said, "Right, during the Second World War, when there was a bombing in the local area of Egham and all around the area, they used to take the kids down the tunnels. And the only way they could keep hold of the children down the tunnel was to go top and tail. So one would hold the front one."
All right.
So she said,
Got
what you're feeling is the children holding onto your shirt tail, because that's what they would have done when they came out of the tunnel. They hold on to each other's shirt tails, so none of them would ever get lost in the tunnel. How spooky is that?
that.
That's but they actually hid the paintings in these tunnels, and they used the original bricks to tunnel it up and put it back how it was. And the people that knew where it was obviously very minimal, because in case there was an invasion, they hid these priceless paintings in this tunnel. And to this day, nobody's ever found them. No one. Because there is no maps, there is no location. And the people that would have known are now passed away. So nobody knows where they are in the tunnels.
Well, you know, I think a couple of weeks ago I started saying, I mean, different sort of. I mean, that's interesting. The paintings in them tunnels.
Yeah.
But you know, it just shows you. I mean, Bath is like York. It's the same sort of feeling. And if anybody watching this been to Bath, then there's a good chance they've been to Bath Abbey. And there's a good chance they know that the Bath Abbey vaults are there. Now, they only got discovered, I think, in the 90s. They've been there since the 90s. And they're now part and parcel when Bath is amazing, Samantha. It really is amazing. I'll be going back there shortly just for a day out because it's just amazing. I might just take the bike up for the day and have a day out in Bath.
Yeah.
And it's just so easy on the bike, isn't it? You know, it's just done. And
Park anywhere, can't you, really?
yeah, anyway, I mean, have you been to Bath, Paul?
Many years ago. I haven't been for a long, long time. Many years.
Well, you've got the Roman baths and you've got Bath Abbey. And I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. And there was again some council workers doing some work beside Bath Abbey, and they had the old Hilti drill going beside the Abbey, and again it just sort of dropped. I went, oh my God! I think this here has a reply here.
Yeah, there's always one.
Yeah.
How funny.
My show's getting stolen.
Even your jokes are getting stolen.
My jokes, sorry, are getting stolen. Yeah. Anyway, these couple of builders are like, cool. We just hit an air pocket, and my God, Bath Abbey's about to fall over. Yeah. What do we do? So one's gone, oh, fit it back in and just leave it. Yeah, well, you know, somebody else will find it one day. Or when the Abbey starts tilting, like, we can't do that. Yeah. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. We're not your normal paranormal investigators. I'm sure you see. Yeah.
Far from it. Far from it.
I mean, there's. I mean, Luke knows this. I mean, Luke knows.
What?
Luke knows. No, Luke knows. Yeah. Sorry, Luke.
Right.
There we are. We had to get there, didn't we?
Yeah, you know. I mean, sorry, you knew I did. Anyway. Yeah. He loves you up the back. Anyway.
No, stop it now. Don't say that.
She must be in the same room as you, look, to say that.
we was at a property a few years ago, weren't we, Luke?
Yeah.
And the following week there was a film crew there, and unbeknown to us, they closed a few of their they closed a few of the areas off. And I had not been there before, but Luke obviously had.
Yeah, yeah.
And he made an awful mistake. He turned around and went, I wish we could go through there. Why? He went, it takes you through to a back passage.
Where's this one going?
I went, is it good? Yeah.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Do you want to go? Anyway.
No. You'll find. Carry on with tunnels, but not back passages.
Oh dear. It's a bit of a joke now when we're on tour. It's Anyway.
But you must come up and we'll take you to Chiddingstone.
Yeah.
Come up as well, Luke. Come and see it.
Well,
And we'll spend the day going round there. What's that? Yeah, it's really, really interesting village. Very, very interesting. And I say it's near Eden Bridge, and you could do Chiddingstone, Eden Bridge, and then go on to Eva.
We definitely laughed.
Definitely have to laugh. That's what it's about. This is why it's a fun group, isn't it? Why we always get some good evidence, because we do take that with us, don't we? Our energy's good, and we do come away with some real good, evidence. It's like the last times we've been on here, isn't it? And we've heard that woman's voice on here.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
We've heard that a couple of times now.
Yeah. I think Graham heard it the first time round.
Yeah.
And I knew I'd heard it when we were talking. I heard it say hello, and that's why I sort of said, "Who was that?" So.
Yeah, it's if you a couple of weeks ago, Samantha. I think somebody's marked it on here. That
I think Luke tried to slow it down a little bit, didn't you, Luke? To try and get a grab of voice.
Can you tag it again, Luke? Yeah, and maybe Graham can analyse it a little bit more. I did ask him. I did mean to ask you, Graham, if you could analyse the clip a bit more, because Graham's the EVP man.
I think it's around about 1:36:25.
Yeah.
That's right, it's Heidi. It was the first one that you came and joined us.
That was
just
amazing.
a quick question, Heidi. Did you actually hear the voice as well at that time, or was I the only one that heard it? As I say, the first time I think Graham heard it and pointed it out, and then I know what I heard, and it was quite a clear voice as well.
Oh, it was there.
So not sure who it was, but it was definitely a woman's voice saying hello.
Yeah, it was.
I'm just trying to. I've uploaded so many videos lately on the YouTube.
Yeah. But quite well. But yeah, as we were saying, if we come up here, we'll take you to Chiddingstone, Eden Bridge, and then to Hever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's all really interesting places, steeped in history.
Lunch is on you.
But Chiddingstone is a real eye opener of a village. I think you'd be very difficult to buy a house there as well, unless you're in the clicky part, didn't you, Jen?
Yeah.
Because it's like that sort of closed rank type village.
Yeah.
Because we tried to ask them about doing an investigation in the pub, and one guy said, yeah. And then when we actually approached the manager, no. Oh, no, we wouldn't have anything like that down here. No chance. No. Yeah, but it's a really old pub, blah, blah, blah. No, not interested. Not interested. Have you seen anything? Oh, no, there's nothing here. So you know full well there is. And the pub shuts about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
You know something really interesting? Remember I did that video of I was doing an intro, and there was a book fell out the bookcase behind me.
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah.
I'm just looking through the YouTube channel. I can't find it.
Can't find it.
Been taken down.
Oh. I wonder why that is then. If you get Charles Hardy, try and listen back. And I think was it 136, Luke, or 126? Can't remember the timing. I sent it to you, didn't I, Luke? Sit here.
Yeah.
It's 136.25 or 126.35, something like that, and you hear it. You hear this woman's voice.
Yeah.
And we know it weren't any of us, because we were all live on the live, weren't we?
Yeah.
And it came through. You know, and I think Graham will tell you, but the other one he heard that we didn't hear it, but Graham had heard it. So really interesting, that spirit of listening, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, that not only are we going worldwide, we're going astral as well now.
I've got a copy. Right?
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to re-upload it. That's really weird. Pub in Titchfield. What pub was that, and who was it with, Heidi? It's oh, you're with that group. I remember now.
Not Paranormal Sisters, is it? Yeah, that's right, Graham. It was, yeah, exactly it.
Yeah,
it was just, it wasn't in keeping with what we were talking about. Whether I don't forget what time travel or something like that, wasn't it? I think we were talking about that Pacific time. But that's you're right. You're spot on. It wasn't in time.
As far as the video, no, as far as the video on the page, it's not on the YouTube channel. But I did upload it to the YouTube channel, but I'll have to re-upload it to the YouTube channel. I will do that within the next 24 hours. So if you keep an eye on the YouTube channel, you'll see it come up. It's just South Coast Ghosts YouTube. There is a band that's trying to take the South Coast Ghosts name as well. It may be on the Facebook page. That's a good point. If you want to have a look, guys. But it was, I was sat here early hours of the morning. I was just doing an intro for another channel, a car channel I've got. And all of a sudden, this book just pops out the back of me. And it's like, I sort of felt someone behind me as well. And I'd been sort of, all of a sudden this book, and you can actually see it slowly come out and then fall on the floor. I was the only one here.
What book was it? What was the name of the book?
Do you know what, mate? I should have bloody remembered that, shouldn't I?
Do you think it was a book about what you was talking about, or something different?
I think it was just somebody trying to get me attention. When we left the old house, it was quite interesting. We've been here now 4 years this month, and we looked at this house, fell in love with it basically because of the area and stuff. Couldn't wait to get here, but we had it for a month, both of them for a month together, just so we could move all our rubbish, our stuff through. And I was coming over, putting curtains up and so forth, and I thought, oh, we should just stay here. Now, in the last house, which was only like a mile and a half away, my computers used to be, you just come in the hall, and then the stairs were at the end, you turn left, and my computers were underneath the stairs. And it was a lovely little setup I had. And I used to sit there 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and I used to get these children come through and keep me company. And they used to keep me company. Cheers, Heidi. Thank you. You should find one. I'll tag it on the page anyway. The one that I'm on about. I'll sort that out as soon as I can. But now, let's say this was on the Monday. Yeah, Andrew had been coming over with the van and dropping stuff off. Let's say this was a Monday. I'd set my thoughts on we were coming into this house on the Wednesday. Yeah. So this is Monday night, and I've got this little girl, and she's come and stood next to me, and she's really, really unhappy. Not nasty, just emotional unhappy. And she brought me down, and I'm like, she's crying. Why? And I'm like, why are you crying? And I was talking to her, and she's like, but you're going away. You're leaving us. And I'm like, I'm here tomorrow, darling. I went, what are you getting upset for? She went, no, you're going tomorrow. No, I'm not. It's Monday. I'm going Wednesday. Yeah, maybe even Thursday if you want. Yeah. She's like, no, you'll be leaving at 1 o'clock tomorrow. I'm not going tomorrow. Yeah. And I could literally feel her hand on my leg, and I could feel her tears, and I think I stayed up with her till about 4:30 in the morning. I mean, I'm nuts, and I must be nuts. If I weren't communicating with someone, I must be the biggest schizo in the world. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, she went. I went. I'm going to go to bed now. She said, "Oh, I can't come up there. Hope you're all well," and things like that. And anyway, wakes up Tuesday and whatever. And, my mate's helping Angela, and see the bed go and stuff like that. And, well, we're on the sofa tonight. And, no, so we're getting a new sofa. So, anyway, she's come back about 12:30. She went, "Oh, have you got any more stuff to take over?" I said, "Well, yeah, but I'll put that in the car tomorrow." She went, "Well, we're going over there now." I went, "Well, no, we're going tomorrow." She went, "No, we're staying there tonight, so we're going now." I'm like, "But I thought it was no, Tuesday." Now, how the hell, right? I mean, if we do manifest these things in our head, if when we're doing the board or a glass or table tipping, it's our subliminal minds. We don't realise what we're moving the table or whatever, like some suggest, yeah? When I, in my subconscious mind, have got it, and subliminal mind, have got it set that I'm not moving for another 48 hours, yeah? How have I got somebody that's not there telling me I'm moving at 1 o'clock the following day? And they were right and I was wrong. How? I know ESP, yeah.
Spirit though, isn't it?
Yeah, like Jen said, that's spirit for you. They know, don't they?
But
They tell you what you need to know, don't they?
It was as if I was her dad and she was saying goodbye to me.
Yeah. Strange, isn't it?
I feel terrible for that.
No.
Because I feel like I lied to her. You know, I didn't because
No.
I firmly believed I was there the following night, and I was going to sit downstairs the following night and I'll chat with her again.
Yeah.
But that's
so clever, aren't they?
Yeah, but here's one from Graham. I think to that, Graham, I think you're spot on, mate.
Yeah.
That they don't do it in time, I don't think.
No.
I can give you the explanation for that. You see, I'm looking into something where time is stagnant, time is stale all the time. Been looking for years, and the hardest part is getting your head around it.
But time is only what's been made up.
Time is manufactured. Time is only time by the way we measure it on our wrists.
Yeah, but even from the start of history, from the start, time is only what someone's made up, isn't it?
The same time now as it was in prehistoric times.
Exactly.
I believe the layers are there. And what Graham's just said there, they don't do it in real time. Well, they probably do deal in real, but not time. Yeah?
Yeah.
Mind and spirit, yes, they are. Very powerful.
But you know, we've asked this question before. You know, they know the answer to the question before you actually say the question, and you know, is that why you catch an EVP? Is that why you get communication on the board? You know, they already know what you're going to ask, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, when I'm doing that human pendulum, I know what they're going to say.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to be 70%. I reckon now I'm 95% of the time. If you watch me, when somebody says, "Oh, did you live here?" and I go, "No, they didn't," and then the person will go back after that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think, "Oh my God, did I influence that person in front of me?" Keep your mouth shut, Dave. Keep your mouth shut.
But then, do you think they find it easier to communicate with you, Darren, psychically, rather than push someone backwards and forwards? Do you think that's what they're doing?
Yeah.
They find it easier, an easier form of communication rather than push someone backwards and forwards. It's to someone that's open, isn't it?
Sometimes when I'm standing in a building like Waverley Abbey or something like that, and I go quiet, I'm hearing so many and seeing so many things around me, and but they come up to you and they start saying things to you, and it's when you get hundreds of them, guess what? It's a gibberish, and it's like you want to turn around and say, "Calm down."
It's what they call the everyday chitter chatter, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a good one. We had the same voice come through at Waverley Abbey.
Yeah.
Oh, well, getting a bit of the looks here.
Yeah. Yeah. I know the feeling there, mate.
That was interesting because we got the same voice at Waverley as Graham got through Jamaica.
That's what I mean. Incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. I do believe as well, because I'm going to end the live in a second, because we're supposed to do now. We've had an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And people on the lives get an added bonus. They get to hang around for an extra 10-15 minutes, and we take the mickey out of each other after you lot have gone. So if you ever want to come and have the mickey taken out of you, or take the mickey out of one of us, face to face, ask me for the invite link and I'll bring you on here. Okay. Next week, Paul could probably, look at Luke. I mean, he only comes on here for the laugh, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, without Luke, we wouldn't have any jokes. Huh?
No. Where would we go with this?
Exactly. And I haven't even got to his mum yet. Not that I want to get to his mum. Don't take that the wrong way.
No. I think you might want to rephrase that.
Yeah.
Swiftly move on from that point.
Anyway, ghosts. Where were we? Now, we're off to Cornwall on Wednesday night, Thursday morning.
Nice.
Pluck up the courage. You don't need courage. All you need to do is come on. Be
yourself. We're not asking you to do anything, or just tell us about your team or your investigations, and you've seen how we are. See how relaxed we are, and how we laugh, and we don't think any less of anybody. So
one thing I'd say is please don't pluck up the courage.
No.
Because plucking up the courage, that will make you a different person to what you are.
Just come on as you are.
You've got to sit down and in your own right, and I'll say this to you, the same as Paul, Luke, everybody, you're all beautiful individual human beings. You're not a person, you're a human being. And you're beautiful all in your own way. And whatever made us, I'm not religious, I'm not non-religious, I believe in something. Whatever made us beautiful in our own right. We're all different and individual. And the main thing is, I mean, doing psychology and yeah, brilliant. We'd love that, wouldn't we? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Love that.
That'll be interesting.
What imagine about 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Imagine about 3 or 4 years. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, exactly it.
Yourself. Yeah.
And you, Heidi, you need to come on as well. Come and join us.
Yeah, come on. You're more than welcome, everybody.
Tell us about your experiences.
Psychology and a bit of counselling and hypnosis and hypnotherapy and to help people, which I've done over the years. We all keep ourselves. Thanks, Graham. We all keep ourselves. If we're not careful, we keep ourselves in this thing called a prison. Our own little prison. Plucking up the courage. Why do you have to pluck up the courage? You know, you're
just be yourself.
You know, if somebody take offence to you, then that's their problem. Yeah.
The thing is, what you see on here is what we're like in real life, isn't it?
I've got the body of an elephant and the brain of a goldfish, so we'll get on great.
Yeah, you need to come on, Heidi. Come on and join us.
Good on you. Good on you.
Yeah.
Just be yourself. That's you.
Yeah.
Keep it real. Yeah. West Side is the best. Now
if you meet us in person, we're just the same, aren't we?
Here we are.
But no, the prison we keep ourselves in is. Oh, I wonder if they'll mind if I wear this item of clothing. I wonder if they'll mind if I say that. I wonder if they'll take offence at this. Oh, I better not do this because they won't like it, or it won't look good, or whatever. Yeah. That is the prison that we keep ourselves in. We're always worried about standing on somebody else's toes or doing something in the world of feminism and opinionism, when really, get out of that prison and just don't worry about it. If somebody doesn't like you, that's their problem. You know? I mean, well, we know that, Graham. I know that, mate. Just a quick example for you. On my Range Rover on Friday, I had to fit a new air compressor for the suspension, up and down, yeah? And anyway, you're supposed to fit the relay with it because obviously if it works too hard, it can damage the relay and so forth. Well, the model I've got is quite a strange one. It's normal. I'm strange. I've got a strange car. And today I was up at Bognor Regis seeing a friend of mine sat in his caravan having a cup of tea. And I suddenly remembered that I should ring the Land Rover dealer, Range Rover dealer, and see if they've got a relay in stock. Anyway, I've looked for the number and yeah, that's it. I said, sorry, well, I'm going to have to ring them, otherwise I'll forget. So I rang them and, welcome to Steiner Group and blah, blah, blah. And we'll be with you in a second. And it's taken about 20 rings to answer. Yeah. Now, if I'm selling cars for 200 grand a pop, I'll be answering that phone quicker than that. Yeah. I'll be, yes, sir. What would you like? Yes, madam. Anyway, this woman answered the phone. Oh, good afternoon, Steiner Group. How can I help you? I said, yeah, I've rang up to apply for the job. She went, what job's that? I said, receptionist, telephone answerer. She went, I didn't know we've got one of them. I said, well, it take you bloody ages to answer that phone, love. I said, you need more than one of you on that phone, don't you? And she went, are you serious? I went, I'm taking the piss. And she wet herself. Anyway, she put me through to the parts department, and I could still hear her laughing in the background. I thought, I'll make somebody's day here. Yeah. Anyway, the bloke went, oh, hi. He says, how can I help you? And I told him. He said, I said, you know, Range Rover is one of the most economical cars on the road. I says the diesel version far outweighs economy of the electric version, the hybrid. He went, really? How does it do that? I says, well, mine spends most of its life on the back of a flatbed trailer. That's going to use the diesel of the recovery firm, not mine.
Cheap. Yours is a hybrid because you use other forms of transport.
Exactly, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, work on it. You know, come on here, build up your confidence. We'll help you.
yeah.
You know, Luke knows.
Tell us.
Luke knows his. Luke will agree. Sorry, Luke. Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree. Yeah.
I know you're in the dark a bit there, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You paid the electric bill lately. That's better.
Yeah, it's nice to see you got clothes on tonight, Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you could do is, if they want to suggest Heidi or Samantha suggest a subject for next week, I know you'll be down in the smugglers' caves and all of that.
Well, hopefully I'll get some Kirrans or a beach.
Yeah.
Or the beach where the rocks talk. How's that for you?
Yeah, that'd be interesting, wouldn't
Yeah.
Or it might just be in the sodding pub.
it? Jamaica in. Oh.
Well, we're thinking of doing that on Thursday morning.
Yeah.
And then we are doing Bodmin Jail tour. And then me and her's going to go back and do a paranormal investigation of Bodmin.
Yeah, nice.
So, and then I will probably have to. Do you remember that film, Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do,
And then I've really got the films tonight, haven't I?
You have. You have.
Sorry to hear that. Focus on yourself first. Be happy with yourself. No, that's fine enough. Not a problem. Always messages, whatever.
Very good, Graham. Luke's sitting in the dark with Graham, but you're getting smaller, Luke. You'll be an orb in a minute.
Oh dear.
Very good. Everyone's a cracker.
Yeah.
How funny. That was brilliant. Very good, Graham. Very good.
It's very, very hard to feel negative with a smile on your face. It's very, very hard to feel sorry for yourself or whatever when you're laughing. Yeah. And that
Yeah.
is what you need to do. Yeah. I find it. If I keep a picture of Luke beside me all the time, I'm always.
What, Luke the Orb?
That's his nickname now, isn't it?
Yeah, Luke the Orb.
Yeah. Orb. Yeah.
How funny. Certainly not a ball of energy, but it will give you the orb.
Yeah.
So there we end the live.
Yeah, I'm going to end the live now, guys, because we've done 45 minutes extra, but it has been an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely.
You know, we've had 3, 4, 5 on tonight. Oh, well, it's told me on here. But it's always wrong. We've always got a few extra on, but the people we've had on tonight, please come on next week and the week after, because it's an absolute laugh. It really is. As I say, I'm off to Cornwall on Thursday for 16 nights.
Nice.
So hopefully we'll go up and do the Witchcraft Museum as well, I would imagine, again. At Boss Castle.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Nice around there. Boss Castle.
Hopefully we get
all
a
around.
normal.
Was it Tintagel, isn't it? And all around that area?
Yeah, lucky. Yeah. Well, King Arthur's Castle, one of the most haunted places.
Yeah.
And guess who's got an EHT card? We've been there 2 or 3 times. Yeah. Have you not heard of the witchcraft? Oh dear. That's a really interesting one. I can spend another 2 hours here if you want. I can tell you. If you go on to the fan page of South Coast Ghosts, it is absolutely amazing. They actually have real used voodoo dolls in there, and real regalia has been used in ritual. It is an absolute amazing place. It started off by a guy that was very good friends with Alistair Crowley, and there's quite a few artifacts of his there, Thelema and so forth. If you've not been, you need to go. If you are interested, have you been, Paul?
Not to that one. I've been to the one in Burley, in the New Forest.
Oh, mate, Burley's all right. Boss Castle, just up northwest coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Burley, basically, a woman moved in, and it was sort of witchcraft.
Yeah.
But Boss Castle has got so much reading to do. If you go onto the fan page of South Coast Ghosts, which has got there is Burley.
That's the Burley one, Heidi. Me and Jen have been there because they have a festival there called the Fairy Fest. Is it, Jen? The Fairy Fest, and that's held in Burley, right opposite the witchcraft place, which is it's all down the high street, isn't it?
Excited! Stop mentioning the fairies.
There's even a road called, is it Howard's Place?
Howard's Place, yeah.
Howard's Place, yeah.
But it's quite interesting, though. It's a nice little village right in the middle of New Forest, isn't it? There, and not far from Sammy Miller's, is it?
Yeah, it's not far actually. Yeah.
Witch Fest in London on November.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Croydon.
Is that in Croydon, Samantha?
Yeah.
Jenny knows about that one. Have you been there then? No.
Is it expensive?
I don't know. Jen's heard of it though. Graham saying St Nectan's Glen between Boscastle and Tintagel. Yes,
right, you know what, Graham? I've been meaning to go there. Angela, St Nectan's Glen, yeah?
Yeah.
We've been past it that many times. Yeah, just south. Sorry, it's just north of Tintagel, isn't it? If I remember, yeah. It's only just up the road. So it's where they've got the waterfalls and everything. Yeah. I think they charge you, but we can probably sneak around the back.
Yeah. That wouldn't be the first time for you, though, would it? Now, don't forget we're on a live. We're on a live now.
Stop it, Luke's getting excited again. Hey, I wonder if it works on the live. Watch this.
Don't forget we're on the live.
Look, it does. Look.
Okay.
Look. You give him a little tickle under his chin. Look. Robbie, put your fingers in his ears. Look.
Remember to end the live. We need to end the live on that to see where this one's going.
He's been speechless all night. Look. I mean,
that's a normal night.
In the background, when you go like that, you hear his mum. Look. It looks like he's talking without moving his lips.
Very clever. Very clever.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. St Nectar's Glen. We're going definitely. If it's expensive, I'll just leave the missus and kids in the car. I'll go on my own.
Just climb over the fence on your own.
Yeah, I'll be fine. I mean, come on, I'm going to be bigger than the owner anyway, aren't I?
Yeah, correct. There's only small people in Cornwall anyway, ain't they, for the
I'm
mines?
coming in. I'm coming in. Who's going to stop me?
Yeah. Well, you think they're only about 4 foot tall there anyway because of the mines, so you're bound to be taller than them.
I'll be all right then.
Jen's all right. She's a hobbit.
Paranormal goes out 1.5 miles under sea. Do you know that?
A mile and a half.
Yeah.
What
We're
does?
talking tunnels.
Paranormal tunnels.
Tunnels.
Paranormal
Oh,
tunnels.
tunnels. You know, in obviously Cornwall. I will do that, mate. I will be going. I will be going. That's the next Glen. Have you been to Paranormal? Anybody been to Paranormal?
I think I did years ago when I was down there, but I couldn't really say if I had.
Paranormal, just south in the UK, about 15 minutes. Absolutely gorgeous. It's a cove, a tidal inlet cove. Where the car park is between. You go down either side to it. You park up, and the tide comes right the way in. You've got a river comes out, then it goes all the way out. Yeah. See you later, Heidi. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Heidi. Take care. See you next week.
Absolutely beautiful. And you've got the watering hole, which is the only pub in Britain actually on the beach. You've got to walk across sand to get to it. They've got tables and chairs outside. Dodgy if it's wet. Yeah, well, we know think. And
end the live. I can see where this is going.
And
this is not going to end well.
I can't remember what I was talking about.
No, not going to. It's late.
There's an old tin mine there, and you can walk round all the cliffs. And, they've had to put bars up to stop people going in, because 2012 there was a girl. Glad you pointed that out to Luke. Anyway,
just in case.
yeah, and Paul's forgotten.
Forgotten what? Where was I? Was I talking about something?
There was a girl fell through one of the shafts and died in, I think, 2012. So they've had to block it off. But I know a guy who's actually in hospital at the minute. He's got MS and he's got bed sores and so forth. Carers wouldn't go around and help him. He's got that deep sores. He's on an antibiotic drip. Has been for 6 weeks. It's that bad. And they said they had bad backs, so they couldn't help him. But anyway, he reckons, he comes from that area, and he reckons the tunnels go out 1.5 miles under the sea.
Blimey. 1.5 miles.
Can you imagine that?
That's a long old walk, isn't it? Imagine running that when you're being chased.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute, let me get my breath and then we'll start again.
Well, you're never going to get out, are you? It's just there's loads of them mines. He says there's loads of mines been lost down there. But it's lovely because they allow dogs on the beach, but up until 6 o'clock, they've got to be on a lead, right? However, the area where they've got to be on the lead on the beach from doesn't start for a good 150 meters from the cliff edge. And they can be off the lead here, but not past that flag. And it's the same down the other end. So you get people, they've actually got wardens on the beach to stop dogs being off. I mean, how pathetic, yeah? But you get people taunting them, right? With their dogs. They let the dog off the lead, and it's perfectly fine here. And they train the dogs, I think, to run around the flag. And the warden chases the dog. What's he going to do? It's like, but Paranormal, brilliant place to stay for a central location. Witchcraft Museum, 45 minutes away. Tintagel, Boscastle, 45 minutes away. Castle is Witchcraft Museum. So within the hour, you can be right down to Land's End. You can be right up to Tintagel. If it's raining on the west, it's dry on the east. So you can nip over to Falmouth, Meehanporth, and vice versa. We can go down the Lizard. do the Kinnan's Cove. Absolutely, stunning. Stunning. It's a sun trap. It's a hell of a walk there, but you know it can be 60 degrees. It's 80 degrees down there and beautiful weather. So
Yeah.
beautiful.
Should be nice. Hopefully
Anyway,
the weather will hold up for us.
now we'll stay on for 5 minutes. Thanks everybody that's watched us. Sorry for overrunning again, but we won't have a proper catch up for a couple of weeks now because I will be on holiday. Falmouth Lodge. Did you go to Meanporth? Meanporth's a very lovely, beautiful beach. No overnight camping there. Yeah, lizard, beautiful cream cheese. Meanporth, lovely beach. You're not allowed overnight parking there. It's right on the beach. We woke up in the motorhome there with a knock on the door, 8 o'clock in the morning. I opened the door and the bloke went, no overnight parking here, mate. Now, the kids and dog and everything, everybody's asleep. I thought on my feet. I went, I just got here, mate. Kids are changing to go and see. All the curtains. So they went, it's £3 to park here for the day. So I give them £3, shut the door. And he was watching us all day. We spent all day there. Amy's still got red marks on her back where she had a bikini and everything, got sunburn. And he knew we slept there the night. Godfrey, yeah. The ferry there and whatever, yep. And then you got
Charlie.
Berry Pompeii. No, Pendennis, isn't it? Pendennis. That's haunted as well. Castle Pendennis Castle. Yep, that's it. That's the one. Absolutely beautiful. Hopefully we'll be all there, and we'll be doing Alice as well. Anyway, very haunted castle. Anyway, gonna end the live now. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. Who knows what's gonna happen next week? Thanks, Graham. Cheers,
See you
mate.
later, Graham.
I will
Have
be
a
on
good
the
week.
live next week. I will set up the stream during the week. Please share it.
Yeah.
I created the stream earlier this week so more people could get around it. So it's a regular thing. We do this every week. This is us, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah.
Myself, Luke, Paul are on here every week. Please come and join us if you wish. Great to have you on. Please come on again next week. Thank you. That's superb. Thank you.
Thank you, Graham. Samantha.
Yeah. Please come on next week. Share it with like-minded people, and we'll see you next week. Who knows what's going to happen? Could be at
Right.
Craft Museum. Could be anywhere. See you later, guys.
Have a good week.